Now, each week, we introduce you to the top businesses, and today we have an extraordinary show of top businesses in our community. And our first guest, family-owned and operated, there was a day where that actually meant something, that it was generations of a business's family name in a community. And then it became used and overused and misused as a marketing strategy for many businesses and stopped really meaning what it should mean. Well, we're here to tell you that it really has meaning in our first business today. Generations upon generations of a family-owned and operated business in our community. It is both a privilege and an honor to welcome our first guest, Rob Ayres, owner Ayres Muffler Brake and Alignment, Inc. in Reno, Nevada.
Thank you for having me on.
Now, Rob, I just mentioned history in the community, and if you will, touch on that for us a little bit and tell us some of your family background and how long you've been in Northern Nevada and why it means so much to you.
Well, myself, I'm fourth generation. My kids are the fifth. I got two kids that are growing up and live here. On my dad's side of the family, my grandfather used to have a parts store here in town in the 50s and 60s. He used to be over on Virginia Street where the Eldorado Hotel Casino is now, and then he relocated down on Virginia Street at 765 Virginia, down from the old Ponderosa Hotel. And we opened our business May of 1979 in the location where we are off a rock on Shaber Avenue.
So that's over 30 years ago, 30 plus 33 years?
32 years ago. May will be 33.
And now this business has been in your family for two generations now, correct?
Yeah, my mom and dad opened the shop. I was there when we opened. I started working there from the day we opened, and they worked there until they both passed away. And since my dad's passed away 6 years ago, I've been there running it without them, just by myself. But they were always there. My mom took care of all the books. Dad took care of the operation of the day-to-day operation of the shop and hiring and taking care of the customers, taking care of the employees, making up the estimates, greeting the customers at the counter.
Well, and we mentioned the generations in the community, but there's a level of knowledge that goes into the length of time that you've been doing this personally, and the level of knowledge is priceless to the consumer when they come in to get something done that it really transfers to the quality of the repair that you can put out. But we've found over the decades that we've been in the automotive industry that top businesses, they have some characteristics that are very consistent. They tend to not just be rich part of our community themselves, but they support our community and they care about their employees, and you're no exception to that either. I found out recently that even with your employees, the level of care that you have, that you mandate vacations. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we every year, the week of 4th of July, we shut down for the whole week. That way all of us can get out of there. All the guys and my secretary can get out of the shop for a week in the summer. They can go have their vacation and spend time away from the shop. I can spend time away from the shop. I don't have to worry about the shop while I'm gone on vacation. I don't have to worry that things are not being done right or customers not being talked to properly or explained to what's wrong with their car and everything. So somebody's not being short. When you're short-handed because somebody's on vacation, you're always kind of under the ball or rushing to get stuff done. You got too many things to do. So that week we shut down, and then the week of Christmas. That way everybody can get out. They can do their 2 weeks. Everybody needs a vacation.
Well, and fresh horses,
every day, you're going to burn yourself out.
Exactly. Fresh horses, I was just going to say, win races. And the fact that you care enough about your staff and your customers, like you said, I think that was really, really very well put. When you're out and you're short-handed, quality can suffer, and you're not willing to allow that to happen. And it's personal to you because you just said it, and I wanted to make sure our community didn't miss that. That it's when you're not there, you want to be there. You want to make sure that the customer is getting what you want them to have. And you said that, but breezed over it, and I want to make sure our listeners heard that. So a business that cares about their employees and then cares about our community, and you're active in our community as well. You've done many things for some local organizations. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, there's different little league teams that we've helped out with, football, Pop Warner football and stuff, scouting events for the Boy Scouts, stuff that my daughter's been involved with the Girl Scouts. She's involved with horse associations right now, and we do a lot of stuff with the different horse associations and stuff, help them out. It's important to help out the different organizations in the community. They're the ones that live here and make our community.
Exactly. So if you have the propensity to be able to really value your employees and you value the community in which you reside, you have the highest potential to really value and covet and care about your customers. And there's no doubt about that. I want to bring this up because it is a really litmus test for us as a show and the integrity of the businesses that we're willing to endorse and support within our community. You have been honored by the word of mouth through the top businesses in our community has been so extraordinary about your business. I just need our community to understand businesses that are of a high quality will not share the name of another business with a consumer or other people unless they're of the same quality. And the accolades you have in that category are almost unparalleled within our business community. The length of time you and your family have conducted business and to the level of quality that we stand for, the level of quality that we're committed to bringing to our community has really been exceptional. And I just commend you for that. I want to take a minute now and talk about some of the services that you do provide, and I apologize for the faux pas on the introduction. Let's start with the exhaust systems. You do it all, and not just one car, but just about everything.
Yeah, if a car comes in and they just need a new muffler put on, a rusty tailpipe, we'll put a new muffler on it, replace a tailpipe or a leak in the system. We get a lot of people coming in during the year that they're trying to get a car fixed up and redone and customized for hot August nights. We build complete exhaust systems. We do cat back systems. We do the systems for the big things on the trucks right now is guys with the diesel pickups and gals want to put a 4-inch system on their Fords and Chevys and Dodges. It gives them some more horsepower, helps them. Most of those guys are towing trailers, and it helps the truck run better. We do MagnaFlow mufflers and Flowmasters and all name brand parts. We build all our own pipes and all our own systems, tailpipes and all that stuff.
Custom fabrication included in that. So when you mention some of these restoration projects, if they're doing some custom rod, you can route that exhaust pipe any direction they need to through custom fabrication.
Yeah, we got the tubing bender right there in the shop, and we bend up the pipe to fit the car.
And let's get into the alignments. I think there's a lot of misconception that all alignments are created equal, and there's a lot that goes into the knowledge base of aligning a vehicle properly, and then the different types of use the consumer is going to apply that to. So tell us a little bit about alignments and your expertise in that category.
We align cars and pickups. We do big rigs like Kenworths, Peterbilts, buses, motorhomes, front wheel alignment, rear wheel alignment. Most all your cars nowadays are all independent suspension on all 4 wheels, so all 4 corners should be aligned. A lot of cars don't have built-in adjustments for all the angles, so there's various companies out there that have kits that are available to make them adjustable to improve the way the car handles, the way the tires wear. The 2 reasons for aligning a car is you're unhappy with the way it handles or your tires are wearing poorly. You get the alignment done properly by adjusting the camber and the toe and the angles. It's going to drive right. It's going to wear the tires better. You're going to be happier.
I think one of the things that consumers don't necessarily understand is the tolerances that if you open a book and it says this vehicle should be aligned within this many degrees, that doesn't necessarily really give them the best tire wear, the best handling, that those tolerances have a little more play in them than you would ever put out of your shop.
Yeah, factory specs is a great starting point. That's the neighborhood that you want the car aligned in. But then you tailor it to the way the car's being driven or the type of tires that it has on it or the type of wheels. Yeah, not every car is the same, just like people. Everybody's different. Every car is different the way a person's using it. One guy might use his car just to drive back and forth to work, stop at the grocery store on the way home. The other guy might, on the weekends, want to go screaming up Mount Rose Highway and see if they can slide the corners, and they enjoy driving their car.
We have the Virginia City Hill Climb, so you could actually set somebody's vehicle up to take that incline and handle to the best ability of the vehicle's ability by aligning it differently.
Yeah, you can align it to the way it's being driven and the way it's been used. I've got a bunch of vintage race cars that come into the shop that they race them down at various racetracks, and we get them all set up for their racing.
So again, I think a lot of people think all alignments are created equal, but what you're saying is you take the time to find out the application, the use of the vehicle so that you can align it to the customer's greatest potential of quality of what they're using it for. Brakes. Again, brakes changes are not just removal and reinstallation and turning drums or rotors. I mean, that sounds like all that it is. You can go just about anywhere for them. But there is so much more that goes into it. Let's start by talking a little bit about your brake jobs. And you told me earlier that you have learned over the years there are specific manufacturers of parts for these that apply to different vehicles and vehicle years, and that you've taken the time to make sure that you're giving the consumer the absolute best brakes for their vehicle. So tell us a little bit about that process.
Yeah, most of your cars nowadays are four-wheel disc brakes, and not all disc brake pads are the same. They got different types of pads out there for different type of applications. When we do the brakes, we always true your rotors. A lot of places, or people, especially at home, they'll just take the caliper off, throw a new set of pads on it. They think that's a brake job. There's more to it than just replacing the pads. You want to service the calipers. You want to service the rotors. Take care of that stuff. If that stuff's working properly, you're going to get good life out of your pads. You're going to get good mileage out of them. You're going to have a nice pedal. You're going to be happier with the job. It's done right the first time.
Well, and you could have decreased braking distance, increased safety. There's a lot that goes into that. And then the part selection process of having a quiet system instead of using the wrong parts or the least expensive parts. And one of the other things, too, we talked about is that a lot of the vehicles today, you can actually turn the rotors on the vehicle. So, and tell them, share some of the benefits of the fact that you do that and what they can benefit by.
Yeah, you can true the rotors. On a lot of your cars, you can't get the rotors off the vehicles. They're the way they're attached with the knuckle and the bearing and stuff. So you have to true them right on the car. You want to make sure that the rotors and the hub and bearing and everything is matched to the same amount of lateral runout. You want to keep that lateral runout down to a minimum. If you've got a lot of lateral runout or side-to-side wobble to a rotor or hub, when you put on the brakes, you're going to feel that through the pedal. You put on the brakes, you'll have a pulsation in the pedal or in the body of the car. If your front rotors are not set up right with a lateral runout or warp, you can true a rotor and actually true a warp into it if you're not truing it properly. You put on the brakes, the steering wheel shakes. You take your foot off the brake, the steering wheel quit shaking. That's usually something is, the rotors, the hub, something's not machined and matched up so that you have the least amount of runout possible so that you get a nice smooth brake application when you're driving down the highway.
Well, and you also then do a lot with the tires, mounts, and balances and on and off cars. So tell us a little bit about that, too.
We've got the tire machines where we can do everything from the little car tires and wheels to the big rage right now is the 20, 21, 22-inch wheels. We can mount the tires on those wheels. We can spin balance them. We got the machine to balance them. The machine has the capability of putting all the wheel weights on the inside of the wheels. A lot of people are spending big bucks for some of these really nice wheels. You don't want to look at an ugly wheel weight on the outside of the wheel. People don't want to see that wheel weight. You put the weights on the inside. We've got the adhesive weights that will stick on so they don't scratch the people's wheels when you take the weight off the wheel or reposition it. And as the tires wear and you put new tires, you're going to always be changing the wheel weights. Every time you take the weight off, you're going to scratch the wheel. With the adhesive weights, you don't have to worry about dinging or scratching a customer's wheels. Those wheels are too darn expensive.
So what you just mentioned right there, and that's just, again, sometimes our guests breeze over some of the littlest things that to us really indicate the greatest parts of what we want our community to understand, and that is that you value the consumer's wheels and keeping them from being damaged, even on the inside of the wheel that they may not necessarily see. I mean, that's a level of commitment of quality that people don't see every day, and they don't get necessarily the opportunity to hear it either. But that comes from something else. Typically, what we found is that comes from either upbringing or religious beliefs or whatever it is. That where do you get that kind of a commitment to pay attention to that finite of a detail and for your consumer's best interest? Where does that come from?
Well, you want to basically, like my father used to say when he was running the shop, you want to fix a customer's car like it's your own car. You don't want to take your car into some shop or some place and have them, guys over there with a big, huge hammer beating on your wheel trying to get the wheel weight to stick because the wheel weight won't stick on the lip of the wheel properly. There's more to working on a car than a hammer and a big, huge pry bar. You fix the car the way you would want your car to fix. So you're working on the car and you just assume that it's your own car or your wife's car, and you're fixing it because your wife's going to ride in it, that your kids are going to ride on it. You want the customers to have the same feeling that their car's fixed properly.
It just comes down to core fundamental beliefs and how you were raised is what I'm hearing.
Yep.
And if you have that, and as a consumer, if you're not getting that right now from the shop that you're doing business with, then definitely you want to see Rob Ayres with, help me again, I don't want to butcher the name again, with
Ayres, Muffler, brake, and alignment.
I think I said it wrong the second time as
Yeah.
well, in the wrong order. And tell them your location, how to get a hold of you, phone numbers, email.
Our location is 1 street north of Glendale, crossing Rock Boulevard. It's the name of the street is Shaber, Shaber Avenue. Our address is 1739. Fire Ridge and red building, white stripe around it. You can't miss us, right in the middle of the block. Our phone number is 331-4553. We're there Monday through Friday from 8 in the morning to 5 at night is our hours. Weekends, we get out of there. It's important for everybody to get out, spend time with their family, spend time with their kids. They grow up fast.
Definitely give them a call, one of the finest automotive businesses in our community and has been for decades. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation to be on our show, and we hope to have you back again.